And good morning to you. It is Thursday, February the 23rd, 2023. I'm Pearson Bowen. This is the CBC Morning Report. One of the biggest weekends in agriculture is approaching, but it's all that the authorities have planned, is it? The Barbados Agricultural Society will be staging AgroFest, which begins on Friday, with a number of new exhibits on the cards and some 200 exhibitors. We are joined now by James Paul, Chief Executive Officer of the BAS, to look at what the show will augur for the sector. Mr. Paul, good morning to you.
Good morning to you.
All right, we're just moments away from the start of AgroFest 2023. Are all systems in place?
Yes, actually, last night we were just finalizing some things. So a lot of most of the tanks, 99% are in. And of course, during the day, we will be putting in the rest of the utilities. So we'll be ready to go tomorrow morning when we open for the public.
In terms of the number of exhibitors, increase or decrease? How do you assess the number of people who will be exhibiting in this year's AgroFest?
Well, I would say it has been fantastic because of the fact that we have about 260 exhibitors. Of course, we have the Guyanese contingent who actually came up again this year, based on the fact that they did enjoy what they were doing last year. And of course, we've had a tremendous interest from local exhibitors. One of the issues, though, that you'll find is that there have been some late applications, of course, that we have tried to find spots for them. But what it says is that, in future, people will have to come early and so that we could actually lay out the exhibition properly, because sometimes the late applications actually causes problems.
What are the lessons from the past have you taken on board so that we see the change for 2023?
Well, we've learned in terms of the whole question of preparing very early. And even in terms of, for instance, dependency construction and things like that, we've learned from that, and I think that went very well this year. And also trying to work out with other private sector elements in terms of what is possible, and they have helped. Of course, the other thing is in terms of our messaging. We have learned quite a bit from that. We've relied a lot on social media this year in terms of trying to push the message over to people as to what AgroFest is about. And those are things we have learned. And of course, we've come much closer to people in that way. Also, too, for instance, we have been very surgical in that, everybody comes to that exhibition looking for different things. So what we have been able to do in some cases is try to focus in on some of the elements of the exhibition so that, you're catering to people who may have particular nuances, who may have particular interests at the same time.
In terms of the marriage of agriculture and agri-processing as a business, how relevant is AgroFest today to helping that process along?
Very relevant. I don't think you cannot look at agriculture properly without also looking at the activities associated with agriculture. You mentioned agro-processing, but remember that also affords a wide activity across a whole range of products and crops. So it is not just food crops we're looking at. The other crops too that we look at, for instance, that offers that type of opportunity. The other thing is that, even in terms of the beauty industry, there are a lot of the products that we produce, whether or not be, for instance, pears, whether or not be cucumbers, things like that, can actually be applied in the beauty industry. And that is something, of course, that we're learning, and that is why too the agronomy of the crops is very important. And even, for instance, the Ministry of Agriculture have done a fantastic job in terms of trying to ensure that their people will be there to sort of talk to persons who want to engage in the growing of these products. And of course, the herbs. Herbs are becoming very important in Barbados. People are getting more healthy. They're recognizing that actually, listen, we can actually grow our own herbs. All of these things, and we've been able to structure involvement in the exhibition so that people can have access to the information, that they can do these things at home.
Are you seeing, as a consequence of AgroFest, an uptick in the number of people getting involved in agriculture and all of the varying surrounding activities from agriculture?
Very much so. Look, I don't think sometimes we appreciate the fact that unless we are able to constantly push agriculture in people's faces. They were not, remember, you know, the world is such that everyone has their competing influences. And while, yes, we all know about our local breadfruit, whatever that we grow locally, we are also infiltrated by other products coming in from the more developed countries, encouraging us to say, look, you know, you can use these instead. So unless we constantly, on an annual basis, promote, you know, what we produce, of course, you know, that's why they have this theme. Let's eat what we grow, because sometimes we take what we have for granted, and that, I find that AgroFest has been able over the years to change that mindset, at least to counter some of the Western influences, the North American, European influences that are saying to people here, no, you eat our foods, don't eat yours. We have been able to, at least in some ways, make Barbadians aware that, look, you know, we can produce our own food and you need to consume more of it. So let's eat what we grow.
That's a great way in which to end this interview, sir. I want to thank you so much as AgroFest starts tomorrow. All the best to you and your planners on the execution of this year's 2023 AgroFest. Thank you so much for joining us.
And thank you for having me.
You're welcome. James Paul, Chief Executive Officer of the Barbados Agricultural Society. We'll take a break here, but coming up, we'll tell you about the construction of regional hospitals in Guyana.
Enjoy movies, soaps, drama, comedy, inspiration, education, music, and more. You get it all when you get MCTV, because MCTV gives you more.
Some ask, what makes Barbados so special? We at Mornin Barbados say it's you, our exceptional youth. You are talented, resilient, and inspirational. You are the epitome of the Barbadian spirit, testing the boundaries of your creativity. If you are an entrepreneur, artist, baker, designer, author, or have done anything you think should be highlighted, email us at morninbarbados@cbc.bb. Let us show the world our exceptional Bajan youth.
Books open your heart, your mind, and your soul. They are educational, entertaining, inspiring, and motivating. Are you an author of a recent book you want to share? Then Mornin Barbados would love to feature your book in our The Next Chapter.
Preparations for the construction of 6 regional hospitals in Guyana are moving apace. This update from Minister of Health, Dr. Frank Anthony. We'll hear more now from NCN TV.
Hospitals will be built this year at Lima Region 2, Dekendron Region 3, Diamond and Enmore Region 4, Bat Region 5, and Number 75 Village Region 6. Dr. Anthony says the sites are currently being prepared, after which they will be handed over for construction to begin. On Saturday last, the minister conducted site visits at Dekendron and Diamond.
Diamond has been handed over. Dekendron, there's a little bit more work that they would need to do. And hopefully in the new week, they'll be able to complete the work so that we can hand it over to the contractor.
The minister also visited the other regions where site preparation continues.
So we want all the sites to be handed over so that construction can start immediately. We also did, on Friday, we went to Number 75, we went to Bath, and previously we'd visited Enmore.
Dr. Anthony says he will be visiting the site at Lima Region 2 in the upcoming weeks. These regional hospitals are slated to be Level 3 centers, which will be capable of providing prompt assessments, resuscitations, surgery, intensive care, and stabilization of injured patients and emergency operations.
Irregular migration continues to be a challenge for Belize. People from Cuba, Haiti, Venezuela, and other countries in the region continue to travel to that CARICOM state as a transit point to get to the USA. Haitians and Chinese are coming to Belize through official points of entry, but disappearing after. Police Commissioner Chester Williams drew attention to another challenge where a group of 9 Jamaicans reportedly attempted to abscond from a cruise ship which had docked off the coast of Belize.
it may come across as a new phenomenon, and it is something that we will have to find a way to address. You would know that when we do have these cruise ships that comes to the country, it is always expected that the passengers are going to return on the ship. But as is well known that Jamaicans are CARICOM citizens, and the fact that they are CARICOM citizens, they may have some legal right by virtue of the Treaty of Chagaramas to be able to enter any CARICOM country. But again, the laws of the country still apply, in a sense that when you go to a country, you must disclose certain information to immigration. For example, where you're going to stay, and to be sure that there is some means that you can sustain yourself. And so when you have people who just come into the country and have not or did not disclose to immigration where they're going to stay while in Belize, that could be a grounds for refusal of entry. So we have to look at it and see. And again, the question that has been asked is, why would Jamaicans come to Belize and then try to go to the US? Again, we have a land border with Mexico, and then Mexico have a land border with the US. And so they might see it as being more easier to go this route as opposed to getting a vessel from Jamaica and then go to the States. That is going to be extremely difficult doing it through the maritime domain. So to fly from Jamaica to Belize and then make their way north, I believe that's a much easier route for them.
In the Bahamas, the Minister of Health is responding to the opposition who allege that health authorities are being negligent in keeping the public up to date about a viral illness that they claim are putting more strains on the health facilities. We hear more now from Eyewitness News.
When we look at the reported cases and the data in front of us, there is no need to create panic. Our numbers for upper respiratory tract infection and gastrointestinal infections at this particular time is below the normal value, but we're constantly watching. And so these voice notes to create concern and panic, I don't think it's appropriate.
Health Minister Dr. Michael Darville coming to the defense tonight following claims by opposition officials that government is not being transparent with the public on upper respiratory cases.
Did you know that across the Bahamas for the last few weeks, we have seen an upsurge in respiratory illnesses affecting adults, infants, and children? And yet, despite this huge upsurge, very little information has been provided for parents to protect their children.
That's chairman of the Free National Movement, Dr. Dwayne Sands, and he's claiming that this is resulting in local health facilities being on the verge of collapse.
So many children have been impacted that emergency rooms, clinics, and doctors' offices have been inundated with children with severe respiratory and gastrointestinal complaints. A number of children have required hospitalization, some in the ICU. And sadly, you've heard nothing about this from your government.
In fact, Sands says it's now having a trickle effect.
Over-the-counter and prescription medications such as Tylenol, Panadol, cough medicines, Ventolin, and other drugs are dwindling, and in some instances completely out of stock across the Bahamas. Pediatricians are overwhelmed. These viral syndromes are protracted and often leave their patients debilitated with chronic symptoms that last for weeks.
But the health minister maintains that this is nothing new.
At this particular time of the year, we do see spikes of upper respiratory tract infections and some indications of gastrointestinal. Most of them are viral. It happens every year. You must realize that we came out of a COVID pandemic, and so during that particular time, everyone was mandated to wear masks. And so now we're being exposed.
As Turkey continues to reel from the devastating earthquakes that killed tens of thousands and caused widespread destruction in many areas, attention is slowly turning to the quality of the construction of many buildings that collapsed during the disasters. We have more in this CNN report.
He spends his days sifting through the rubble, watching excavators, desperately searching for traces of his father. Mehmet, not his real names, already recovered and buried the bodies of his grandparents and his mother. His parents had only moved into what was a brand new high-rise development in Antakya last summer.
This is the newest one, this is the latest one built in this area, and also this is the most expensive one. They say this building is earthquake-proof and it is a new one, so we truly believe that nothing's gonna happen.
Not only were people here sold luxury and comfort, but the illusion of earthquake safety. As you can see, most buildings around here sustained a lot of damage, but they're still standing. According to residents here, this collapsed within seconds like a house of cards. Several other buildings in the city owned by the same developer also came crumbling down. The lucky ones who survived are now homeless in makeshift camps, overlooking a life they once had, gone in an instant. Families of victims still grappling with their loss and grief are blaming developers after easy profit for cutting corners and using cheap construction material.
This is basically murder. They disobey all the rules. They did everything wrong, and this is the result. They just build a cemetery with sand.
The government's launched investigations across the earthquake zone and has so far rounded up dozens of building contractors. But many say it's not just the contractors who are to blame. This is a systematic problem, says Karai Tanim from the Chamber of Architects. This is a complex problem of the system, not an individual one. The country's Chamber of Architects says a construction boom, lax inspections by authorities and government amnesties for developers who didn't abide by building codes introduced after previous disasters all contributed to this catastrophe.
Nigeria's presidential election is just days away and candidates are making their final pitches to voters. 18 candidates are on the ballot, but 4 are getting the most attention because of their chances to win or force a runoff. Al Jazeera's Ahmed Idris reports.
Peter Gregory Obi, a former governor of Anambra State, is the youngest of the frontrunners to be Nigeria's next president. His campaign message seems to resonate with young voters who say they are tired of the politics of the world.
Everywhere you go see. We want to secure and unite Nigeria. We want to transform Nigeria from its present conspicuous consumption to a productive country.
A successful businessman, he broke away from the party that made him governor and one that chose him as a presidential running mate to lead the Labour Party's presidential campaign. Rabiu Musa Konkoso has a similar shift from the major parties to one that doesn't control any legislature or state. The NNPP candidate is a former defense minister and was governor of Nigeria's second most populous state, Kano, for 8 years.
The election now is between the big names who have destroyed this country and people who are looking for an alternative.
The 2023 election isn't business as usual. The 2 new contenders and their supporters believe they can unseat the governing party just like in 2015 when the opposition won. The opponents say they can only divert votes from the main political parties. Some analysts expect the 2 to force a runoff and with skillful negotiations win or even decide who becomes president.
This is the man Nigeria's opposition is trying to stop. A former governor of Nigeria's commercial and business capital, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, is credited with transforming Lagos State and restructuring its economy. The governing party flag bearer says he wants to replicate this at the national level.
Security, economy, foreign policy is secondary. Building relationship, giving the other country assurance, believing in the sanctity of contract.
Both Tinubu and Obi are making the most of a belief by some Nigerians that the presidency should head south after being held by a northerner for 8 years. But supporters of the former Vice President Atiku Abubakar say Nigeria's democracy must not be defined by regional sentiments. A retired customs officer, Mr. Abubakar is a successful businessman with interests in manufacturing and service industries. He wasn't available for interview. The manifestos and ideologies of all the political parties are similar, but there are at least new contenders for the presidency, which in itself could make politicians in Africa's most populous country more accountable to their voters.
Well, coming up this morning at 6:30 on Morning Barbados, more of the recipients of the National Youth Awards. This morning we'll get to talk to and introduce you to the recipient of the Phoenix, Hope and Banyan Awards. AgriFest, as you know, starts tomorrow, runs for the entire weekend, but there's a special attraction. It is the NCF's Culinary Arts Expo. There are wonderful opportunities for you to be a part of it. We'll share those details with you this morning. Also today, we'll meet one of the nominees in this year's Gainon Awards. She's been nominated for Book of the Year. Who is it? And what's that book? We'll share that with you this morning too when you join me at 6:30 for Morning Barbados. The CBC Morning Report continues in just a moment.
Books open your heart, your mind, and your soul. They are educational, entertaining, inspiring, and motivating. Are you an author of a recent book you want to share? Then Mornin Barbados would love to feature your book in our The Next Chapter segment. Send us an email to morninbarbados@cbc.bb. That's morning without the G. Come and let us turn those pages together.
Because you love English Premier League, MCTV has got it back. Now you can watch all the games of the English Premier League plus UEFA and NFL on MCTV. Current customers can upgrade to Max Pack Extra at just $23. Call MCTV today at 228-6288 to upgrade or come in and sign up for our new service. Football fans, let MCTV get you back in the game.
While you go about your business, we go about our business, and that is gathering the news. Stay up to date at CBC News Barbados on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Get news update on radio throughout the day. And join us for the CBC News Night at 7 every night. CBC News team is on the job and bringing you the news.
Opportunities exist for additional growth and build-out of lands at Needham's Point. Minister of Tourism and International Transport Ian Gooding-Edgell is optimistic that the land cannot accommodate other properties.
I believe there's close to 9 acres in that area. I know that the senior minister in the Prime Minister's office has a plan to assist with the getting that site ready. Once that site is ready, there are numerous opportunities. We don't necessarily have to have one hotel on one site. Because of the acreage, we can have multiple hotels on that site, and that's a further opportunity to expand our capacity.
Prime Minister Mia Motley has committed government to working step by step with the Ministry of Tourism.
We are aware that there are a number of new investments coming, and just as we did with the Hilton Hotel in the 1960s, where state entrepreneurship took us to a new level of tourism, we have agreed equally with the Hyatt Hotel to be able to work with them and another major private sector investor locally with the original investors to ensure that that new development and wave of tourism development in the heart of Bridgetown can start without prejudice to the other developments that would also take place there.
Minister of People Empowerment and Elder Affairs Kirk Humphrey is calling for a new poverty study. He says it's now 7 years since the last one and the nature of poverty has changed.
There's been a social protection framework that has been put in place in the ministry that has allowed us to look at poverty in all of its various components. Now we know that poverty is multidimensional. Poverty is not only income poverty. And the challenge that many people have faced is that you've tried to address a multidimensional issue with a one-dimension response. You try to address poverty that comes with all of these associated consequences by throwing money at the problem. Let's increase the welfare grant. Let's do this. Let's give money. Let's give money. You have to do that, of course, because you have to stabilize people. But the ministry has a program that is called the IC program, which I think is going to be the fundamental difference in moving people from one stage to another.
The National Union of Public Workers now says it's the time to resolve pressing issues affecting the school meals department. Deputy General Secretary Wayne Warren says additional staff has been provided, but that there are still other issues to be addressed. He's made the point after workers at the Harbour Industrial Park branch walked off the job last Friday, but returned to work with a promise from authorities to deal swiftly with their grievances.
Maintenance is still an issue, the whole idea of adequate maintenance. All the centers need some additional staff. These commis assistants say that they need to go back to cooks because they're actually cooking and they don't want to be doing other ancillary services like the washing down and other services. So therefore, we will want to see the adequate ancillary staff at all the centers that can do the additional thing where the cooks concentrate on food preparation and cooking.
The Barbados Table Tennis Association has taken a new approach to preparing its players for the first major competition for 2023. New President Marguerite Felix says a squad of 17 players and 4 reserves will be competing at next month's CAC qualifiers, the Caribbean Senior Championships and the Caribbean Junior and Cadet Championships. All of these events to be held in Guyana, starting the 19th of March and ending the 1st of April. Well, Barbados is among 16 teams competing in the various competitions. Felix used the opportunity to outline some administrative plans.
We are working hard to address a number of governance issues by conducting a comprehensive review of the bylaws to reflect our current needs and aspirations of our association and members. The reintroduction of the domestic team championship is another significant achievement. We are happy to announce that we are looking to bring on board a new and exciting sponsor for this event. The championship will commence on April 8th with an opening ceremony and a parade of teams.
Well, the senior women's team for next month's competition reads Antoinette Riley, Anne Reed, Kennedy King and Crystal Harvey. On the men's side, overseas-based players Tyrese Knight will be alongside Marcus Smith, Mark Dowell and Trevor Farley. In the juniors and cadets, Ajani Gittins, Jashawn Smith, Najee Collymore and Raquel May Green will represent the country in the under-15 male section, while Antonia Hamilton, Alex Henry, Mikhail Mark, Romario Gill and MS Godesh Weeks are competing in the under-19 age group. The Tennis Association also received a donation of storage containers from the People's Republic of China and will benefit from the expertise of Chinese master table tennis coach Wu Kong.
First of all, on behalf of the Embassy of the People's Republic of China in Barbados, I would like to extend my warmest welcome to Master Coach Wu Chun and the best wishes to all the players. I also want to express my appreciation to Complat for their generosity to donate the container for the BTTA to storage the equipment.
Minister of Youth, Sports and Community Empowerment Charles Griffith proposed the staging of 30 table tennis tournaments, one in each constituency, that will culminate in a national championship in November. Now, to help bolster that effort, he says plans are in place for a community coaches program.
What I'm saying is that we can have 30 coaches drawn from the same constituencies that will be involved in the tournaments to come to a particular program for a period of time, be trained by Master Wu, and then we have them at the community level preparing our youngsters for this particular tournament. In addition to that, a number of the locations that we will be proposing to have these programs are embedded in the community, and I'm hoping that the primary schools can get involved in the process in terms of that particular training at community level.
All right, let's take a look at forecast conditions now recorded earlier at the Met Office of the Grantley Adams International Airport. At the moment, Barbados 22.4 degrees Celsius under cloudy conditions. The winds are coming from the east at 23 kilometers an hour. If you're heading to the sea today, expect a low tide at just about midday today, 12 noon, and a high tide at 28 minutes after 6 this evening. Seas are moderate in open water with northerly swells, northeasterly swells ranging from 1.5 to 2 meters. Barbados today, a mix of sunshine and clouds with a few scattered light to moderate morning showers. And for tonight, a mix of clear skies and clouds with a few brief scattered light showers. Those are some forecast conditions now for some international cities. And that's today's edition of the CBC Morning Report. I'm Pearson Bowen. Morning Barbados starts now.
Wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up. Barbados, get up. Good morning. Good morning, Barbados. Good morning. Good morning to you. Good morning. Morning, morning, morning. Good morning to you. Good morning. Morning, Barbados. Good morning. Good morning to you. Good morning. Morning, Barbados. Good morning. Wake up, wake up, wake up. Morning to you.
Good morning to you and welcome to Thursday. It's a terrific Thursday indeed. Wonderful having you company. It is also today, the 23rd of February 2023. We're just a day away from the start of AgroFest. Here's hoping that you do get out to be a part of it. This weekend indeed is going to be quite an exhibition. Of course, pay attention to the parking arrangements and the movement of traffic around the area as well, so that you don't find yourself in unnecessary bottlenecks, as would tend to happen. Now, coming up today, we'll meet one of those nominated for the Guynon Awards 2023. She's been nominated for her book in the category of Book of the Year. We'd love to hear from her about her writings thus far, and we'll also want to know what that book is about. So look out for that. The NCF is having its Culinary Arts Expo as part of AgroFest 2023, and there are opportunities for all of us who attend AgroFest to be a part of it. We'll get those details when we're joined by a representative from the NCF to talk about it. And also today, as we expose you to even more excellent young people from Barbados, we'll be meeting a number of recipients of the National Youth Awards. And let's get started right there, as a matter of fact. We want now to introduce you to the recipient of the Phoenix Award. This award defines someone who's been a part of a cause that has impacted the lives and beneficiaries and engaged the commitment of others as well. So we're joined this morning by the recipient of the Phoenix Award in Ronell King. Ronell, good morning to you.
Good morning.
First of all, congratulations on your award. Talk to me a little bit about what that means to also be recognized in this way by your own.
Well, it's an amazing feeling, to be quite honest. These types of awards are especially special because it means that your community sees the work that you're doing and there's an impact and they feel as though that you should be recognized for it. So I'm greatly appreciative of such recognition. And
let's talk about the work you've been doing. We know your face and we know your voice, we know your activism through Leggings, Life in Leggings. Is that a part of your activism? And talk to us about what it was that motivated you to start that movement in the first place.
So Life in Leggings, yes, was started in 2016. It started as a movement, first beginning a conversation starting in Barbados, but spreading throughout the entire region about ending sexual harassment. And we recognized that as one aspect of gender-based violence and felt that when we looked at it deeply, that the rates of gender-based violence in Barbados and the entire Caribbean were far too high above the global average, and something needed to change. This cannot be the reality for women and girls in this region. And so we began that organization to address that issue. And so we do it through advocacy, empowerment initiatives, community outreach, search, and other methods. But the approach really is focused on survivors and focused on educating the community on the realities of gender-based violence, understanding that this is preventable violence and that we all must come together to be able to address it.
And it caught the attention of the peoples of the Caribbean because it actually went Caribbean-wide. And it led you almost, well, I think it did, to Buckingham Palace. Am I right?
It did. In 2018, I was given the Queen's Young Leaders Award by Queen Elizabeth II in recognition of that work.
You know, as a young person, you could have simply said, you know what, that's for older people than myself to tackle. That's not for me. But you decided, no, I will step up to the cause. I will let my young voice be heard. What is it about you, do you think, that propelled you to be active in the way that you have been?
So my activism really is grounded in a couple approaches, if not me, but also recognizing that my part of advocacy is just a small part of longer work that's been done before me, work that's been done by women like Peggy Antrobus, mentors like Mornin Barbados. So I'm just a part of a long line of women who are trying to make a change and trying to move the needle in terms of rights for marginalized people.
And I'm glad you've been able to reach back to say to them, thank you for the work that they've done to pave the way for what you do now. And so when you take the time to look into the mirror, you look at your life's work, how do you feel about it?
I feel good. I feel, for me, I do this work not just for myself and not just for my generation, but so that the next generation that's coming don't have the obstacles that I would have faced and that women before me would have faced. So I feel good. I feel as though I've made a difference, but I also feel that there's so much more to go and I still have so much life left on this earth, and I will do as much as I can while I'm here.
How did you find out that you were nominated?
By email.
And so there it was now. You saw that you were a part of the nominations and you were asked to attend the ceremony at the Frank Cullimore Hall. You sat there knowing that around you there were so many other people who were doing phenomenal work in our community. And then it came to your category. Talk to me about what your heart was feeling and doing at that point in time when that part came up.
Well, I have anxiety, so you described it perfectly. My chest was immediately as soon as they called the category, my heart was just pumping, and I sat next to another winner, and we were just watching the nominees go by. And how I went to the award, I was saying my category was so jam-packed. People were doing amazing work. I didn't have the expectation that I would win. It was great to just be nominated and recognized in that way. And so I kind of just took a deep breath and I said, you know, whoever wins wins, and you know, we are all doing great work, and so I'm happy for whoever wins. And when my name was called, I was a bit shocked. I was very shocked. I didn't process.
At that point in the story, because I'd love to know what she did next with her feet. How did that, with all of it, the heart stopping and the mind having to wake up at some point to tell the feet, get up, get going. Indeed, Ronelle Keane, the recipient of the Phoenix Award, rising really as the Phoenix has above the challenges, indeed. And there she is, receiving her award on the night when the National Youth Awards was held recently. And so her work continues. She's quite active in the ways that she has. And I know a number of you do know, because she was so active that it caught the attention of people in the UK. And so she was, as we saw in her pictures, had the opportunity to meet with the late Queen Elizabeth II and to receive her award. So Ronelle, thank God that you're back. That connection has been re-established. So there it was now. The heart stopped because your name was called. Talk to me about what the brain said to your feet thereafter.
Move. I was panicking. I'm like, thank goodness I didn't have to give a speech, because I wouldn't know what to say. I was just shocked, and like I said, I couldn't have been more appreciative. Because as you know, I have been recognized internationally, but it's the local recognitions that mean the most, as I said, because it comes from my community, and it means that it is impacting them in a way that they feel, and so I should be recognized. So I I felt as though, I was given my flowers while I could smell them.
Yes, and you're so right on that score. So when you stop for just a moment to think, okay, what else does Ronell King want to be active about, and how are you sustaining life in Leggings till now, really? What's been the responses, and what are some of the success stories that you'd like to share, if you don't mind?
Well, so immediately afterwards, we launched our first project in 2017. It was called Reclaiming Our Streets, Women's Solidarity March, where we took to the street in 7 Caribbean countries to, again, raise our voice against street harassment. I've gone to the UN to contribute to reporting mechanisms of the Convention on the Elimination of All Forms of Discrimination Against Women and Universal Periodic Review. Then we started an initiative in 2019 about increasing women's participation in politics, understanding that there is a lot of work that needs to be done in that area, and how that is directly linked to ending gender-based violence, looking at the amazing work of Dame Billy Miller and all of the women who would have contributed to the legislative and policy benefits that we have right now. And right now we're doing a project on working with men and boys, understanding the roots of gender-based violence, and working with them to unlearn and relearn and cultivate healthy relationships with men and women and children.
Wow, fantastic work indeed. And when we think of the phoenix rising above the ashes, we think of you, Ronell, indeed. Someone who saw her situation and thought, I will not dwell in the ashes, I will rise above the ashes. And in rising, I will let my wings encompass others to come along with me. And that's what you've been doing. And so we recognize you as the recipient of the Phoenix Awards nationally, and right here on Morning Barbados globally, as well as one of our outstanding young people of Barbados. So congratulations on your award. We wish you the absolute best with all of your future and continuing endeavors indeed, Ronell King. Thank you for joining us this morning on Morning Barbados. You're very welcome. You're very welcome. And our social commenters have been really commenting about her work, as we are too. We're very immensely proud of Ronell King, the recipient of the Phoenix Award in the just concluded National Youth Awards. Well done to her. Here's hoping that one of you found inspiration in what she's been able to achieve thus far, and perhaps not just follow in her footsteps, but chart your path. Your path is waiting for you to chart. We'll take a break right here. We're coming back with more in just a moment.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
While you go about your business, we go about our business, and that is gathering the news. Stay up to date at CBC News Barbados on Facebook, Instagram and Twitter. Get news update on radio throughout the day. And join us for the CBC News Night at 7 every night. CBC News team is on the job and bringing you the news.
There is a saying, you can find a Bajan anywhere. Are you a Bajan living abroad? Or do you know of one who has migrated to another country? Well, we at Mornin Barbados would love to have you or them on our Bajan Afar segment. Share your amazing stories, experience.
60 minutes now to go to the hour of 7 o'clock. More inspiring, more exceptional young people we're sharing with you. It's Thursday after all, and this is one of those days when our heart is lifted, truly lifted by the future of Barbados through the young people of Barbados indeed, and of the world. And so this morning we're also meeting more of our National Youth Awardees. These now come from Harrison College. The head boy and head girl. The head boy is Yashua Hill. The head girl is Lauren Louis. And so they have been recognized in the National Youth Awards for the Hope Award. They join us now. Good morning, both of you.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Welcome indeed. What do you know about the Hope Award, and tell us about what the award means? Let's start with you, Yashua.
Well, the Hope Award, we know that it is an award where the secondary school-based institution helps individuals to grow in terms of improving school life, improving peers, and improving the wider community where they can give back to the community and help Barbados. And it means a lot where, especially seeing just the nomination, students are appreciative of what is being done from sixth form Harrison College, where they can see development in themselves and being able to go out into the community and giving back. They can see that Harrison College sixth form has truly helped them to develop into an individual that can give back to the community. So even just the nomination, it was really nice to see.
You felt like a winner already with the nomination alone. And so, Lauren, what was this project? What was it that led you sixth formers really to come together to say, you know what? We were going to form this project and these are the ways in which we're going to influence other people. Talk to me about the project and the establishment of it. Lauren.
Well, I think at sixth form at Harrison College, it's really on your development as a person and, focus on global citizenship. So I believe that the environment that we're placed in is a truly inspiring one. We have a lot of supporting staff and administration. And I also would like to take this time to thank our sixth form year head, Mr. Applewhite, because I believe that he plays an integral role in that. And, despite of your interests, people may say certain biases about the school, it might be science-based, but truly, no matter what department you're in, every student is encouraged to participate in everything. They have the support of staff. Any initiative, once it's backed by a teacher, regardless of its background, is supported.
Was this simply a class assignment, or was this something that was born out of the passion of those in sixth form?
Well, it was
most definitely the passion.
Yes, go ahead, Yeshua.
Yeah, the sixth form is an extension of Harrison College. It's its own arm, as you would call it. So it's not necessarily a project, but something that has been going on for a very long time. It's just that now with the social media being such a big thing now, using that is such a big tool to reach a wider audience and to show the best practices of Harrison College and how we have been in the past operating and improving students on the whole.
All right, so let me get beneath the words now to the actions. And Lauren, you can walk me through it then. So having determined that that's what you want to do, to show that you've been able to advance what's been happening, the experience at Harrison College, what then did you do to get it active and to get other students and people involved in what you were doing? Talk to me.
Well, I can use an example for this one. The Prefect Corps has recently implemented a buddy system, and that basically entails a partnering with an upper sixth student, more typically a prefect, and a first former, and basically we would more so guide them along school, inform about the school and their practices. So we just usually contact the teacher. We let them know of our idea, we write up a proposal, forward it to the principal. Once we have a discussion, work through the logistics, we move on from there. And I can even use other examples like how the student exchange initiative, the trip to Jamaica, was brought toward us. Although we didn't have much role in planning, the students were told about it. And for example, when we had the educational summit, we were allowed to really delve into certain topics to present. So a lot of emphasis is really placed on like our group work and our initiative.
Group work and your initiative, but it was a buddy system where you allowed yourselves, the ones who've been there, to now work alongside those who are new entrants to Harrison College. And so you were working on developing soft skills and other kinds of skills. Yeshua, talk to me about that and some of the practical things that you did with the students. I know you mentioned social media, think before you click, get that. But what else did you do to develop some soft skills at the school?
Well, I know that teamwork is very big at Harrison College, where we are not only developing individuals, but we're trying to build a community, a family. So by us being able to enter the new entrants, the first formers, we're able to build that teamwork, but we're able to set examples and show what true leadership is. So whether it be in academic or performance, being able to show that how you can perform and the best practices you should have, or sports where they can watch athletes. I know that we had our sports day the other day, and the students were very engaged and very excited for it. Through these little things, and even development of clubs, for example, the environmental club, where sixth form are the ones who are leading the way through selling lettuce, growing crops and selling them back to help the school. The juniors are able to see those initiatives and say, okay, this is the culture of Harrison College, and this is what I want to get into. And it helps lead on to generations and generations of Harrisonians who are able to give back to the community in practical ways.
Yashua, have you built in assessment? How do you know that it is having the kind of impact you intend?
Well, actually, just the other day, a first former came to me and started having conversation with me on a very well one-on-one level, and I realized that these first formers are able to have us feel that sense of community where they can just come up to me and talk in a very respectful manner as well, and being able to engage in intellectual conversations or just talk about things and relay it back to their friends and their classmates, and they can, and then some friends will come and say, hey, boy, I heard you say that and that. And we see this as well as the engagement in clubs, where they are also giving ideas to help develop the school on a whole.
And what about you, Lauren? What do you see to have been some of the significant changes coming out of the initiative?
Well, as Yasha would have mentioned, I definitely see like the more strengthening of a community, and I believe that's very important in this school because, as Yasha would have mentioned, sixth form it's an extension of the school. It has a completely different application process, so I feel like that's extremely important as well to encourage more students. I mean, as our mantra says, we walk in the footsteps of those that have gone before us and will leave new marks for those who are to follow. So we are currently paving the way for those who are to follow. So I've definitely seen it shown through their initiatives, through their school spirit, through their joy. And I know that COVID-19 would have taken away a lot of that. But, you know, we are really trying to get back on our feet and really try and integrate that school culture that we once had.
Civics is a very critical part of what young people ought to know, how our society is structured, the different arms and functions of society. And so, Lauren, how is your program that you guys have developed and been awarded for approaching a subject like physics, civics, and getting the people of the culture of Harrison College embedded in such a way that they see themselves as contributing members to change in our community?
Well, I know especially in sixth form, as I would have mentioned, a lot of emphasis is placed on global citizenship. So in lower six, you have health and family life education. So there we get mentoring on the university process. And then also we would have recently implemented a student special envoy who is currently in upper six to really focus on these initiatives and bring them out of the sixth form. So those were the things that, you know, we would really see within the school. And also recently implemented in first form was actually civics as a part of the regular school curriculum. So you can see from both extensions of the school that it's truly integrated overall into our education.
And so, Yeshua, you guys were nominated. How did you know, first of all, when did you find out that you were nominated for the National Youth Awards?
Well, our sixth form, Mr. Appleway, he told us that nominated us, and we were very excited and we were anticipating the award. I know that the other people who were in the running, such as the Law School Student Council and even the College Robotics, they were in it. So we were going to be happy regardless of who won, because we saw that there were institutions who were giving back to the community. But it was a really exciting feeling to be placed among those individuals and those institutions.
And so, Lauren, the day of the awards came, and the night you were there at the Frank Collymore Hall, you sat in your seat and you waited. And you waited. And then your turn came, and then your name was called. Talk to me a little bit about what that moment felt like, knowing that you were chosen to receive the Hope Award.
Well, unfortunately, I actually wasn't there to watch it live at the Frank Collymore Hall. But although I was not there, it was a very good feeling. You know, it was a lot of anticipation. Will we or won't we? But as Yashua said, we would have been very ecstatic for regardless of who would have won the award. But it was very good to be appreciated for what we would have done. And also, you know, to set that example and encourage other schools to take part in certain initiatives. And then also, you know, like also just, it's a great feeling. I really don't know how to say. I keep saying also because it's a lot of joyful feelings put together.
I can well imagine. And so, at your return to school, Yeshua, talk to me about the reception by the students knowing that your initiatives have really taken root and been recognized in this way. What was the student body's response like? What was the teacher's body response to it as well?
Well, when we have assembly, we usually, quote unquote, big up people who
Yes.
have had achievements like this. So at assembly, the award was shown to the school, and the roaring applause was amazing to see. Students were proud of what was done, and the role that we play in development of students overall.
Well, now you charted a legacy right there indeed, and so it started with you, and it continues with you. In terms of what else you'd like to be able to do when you leave school, Lauren, and not to lose the energy for the change that you've started, what do you think you'd want to be able to pursue?
At university, one thing that I want to pursue is study abroad program, especially seeing that I would have experienced the 2022 Jamaica exchange program. Not only was I educationally benefited by that, but also socially, I discovered a lot of things about myself. And I believe that also pursuing that in university, although I would be in a different environment, I do believe that will definitely be beneficial to me. So that's 100% something that I need to pursue in university.
All right. Yeshua, what about you?
Well, actually, through one of the programs that the sixth form had, the student exchange, that was when I realized that I wanted to go down the path of law. So, planning to go to KFL for law and really commit to a life of service in that sense, where you can represent communities who are not able to have that voice, whether it be in the courtroom or even in the community itself. So the sixth form experience really helped develop me in that sense, where I can see where I want to go, or the path that I want to chart.
Two articulate young people from Harrison College. Well done. Well done indeed. Congratulations on your award, the Hope Award, for the fantastic work you've been doing to instill that cultural change in our community and in your society as well at Harrison College. Thank you so much for your energy and your passion for what you're doing as well. And I love your future plans as well. We can't wait to see your names etched on history's page. And remind them that you started here on Morning Barbados indeed. So thanks to both of you. All the best today and in your future endeavors. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having us.
You're very welcome indeed. Yeshua Hill and Lauren Louis, the head boy and head girl of Harrison College, they're the recipients also of the Hope Award and the just concluded National Youth Awards. Well done to each and to all indeed. All right, Morning Barbados continues as we turn our attention now to marking some black excellence as well. And who are we recognizing today? Who are we recognizing? We're recognizing Colin Powell, who was an American politician, statesman, diplomat, and United States Army officer who served as the 65th United States Secretary of State from 2001 to 2005. He was the first black person to serve as Secretary of State, and he was also a first-generation Jamaican American. So today we recognize the excellence and the excellent contribution of the late Colin Powell. We're going to take a break right here. We're coming back with more and the news in just a moment.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you. Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
It is 7 o'clock in Barbados in the Eastern Caribbean. Let's catch you up on the news now. Opportunities exist for additional growth and build out of lands at Needham's Point. Minister of Tourism and International Transport Ian Gooding-Edgehill is optimistic that the land can accommodate other properties.
I believe there's close to 9 acres in that area. I know that the senior minister in the Prime Minister's office has a plan to assist with the getting that site ready. Once that site is ready, there are numerous opportunities. We don't necessarily have to have one hotel on one site. Because of the acreage, we can have multiple hotels on that site, and that's a further opportunity to expand our capacity.
Prime Minister Mia Amor-Motley has committed government to working step by step with the Ministry of Tourism.
We are aware that there are a number of new investments coming, and just as we did with the Hilton Hotel in the 1960s, where state entrepreneurship took us to a new level of tourism, we have agreed equally with the Hyatt Hotel to be able to work with them and another major private sector investor locally with the original investors to ensure that that new development and wave of tourism development in the heart of Bridgetown can start without prejudice to the other developments that would also take place there.
Minister of People Empowerment and Elder Affairs Kirk Humphrey is calling for a new poverty study. He says it is now 7 years since the last one and the nature of poverty has changed.
There's been a social protection framework that has been put in place in the ministry that has allowed us to look at poverty in all of its various components. Now we know that poverty is multidimensional. Poverty is not only income poverty. And the challenge that many people have faced is that you've tried to address a multidimensional issue with a one-dimension response. You try to address poverty that comes with all of these associated consequences by throwing money at the problem. Let's increase the welfare grant. Let's do this. Let's give money. Let's give money. You have to do that, of course, because you have to stabilize people. But the ministry has a program that is called the IC program, which I think is going to be the fundamental difference in moving people from one stage to another.
The National Union of Public Workers says now is the time to resolve pressing issues affecting the school meals department. Deputy General Secretary Wayne Warren says additional staff has been provided, but there are still other issues to be addressed. He made the point after workers at the Harbour Industrial Park branch walked off the job on Friday, but returned to work with a promise from authorities to deal swiftly with their grievances.
Maintenance is still an issue, the whole idea of adequate maintenance. All the centers need some additional staff. These commis assistants say that they need to go back to cooks because they're actually cooking and they don't want to be doing other ancillary services like the washing down and other services. So therefore, we will want to see the adequate ancillary staff at all the centers that can do the additional thing where the cooks concentrate on food preparation and cooking.
The union official admits with the estimates debate in progress, there will be added pressure on the parties involved.
Adequate staff is the immediate issue, but we know that the procurement process may be turned to the new financial year with the hope that they make provision for the maintenance of vans, the replacement of certain equipment so that workers can work in comfort. So we are looking at least by the commencement of financial year, all arrangements are put in place to ensure that the resources are made available for staff to function with a level of comfort and efficiency.
Well, that's our news until now. We'll have more news here on TV8 at 12 noon in the CBC News Day. Morning Barbados comes back in just a moment.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
There is a saying, you can find a Bajan anywhere. Are you a Bajan living abroad? Or do you know of one who has migrated to another country? Well, we at Mornin Barbados would love to have you or them on our Bajan Afar segment. Share your amazing stories, experiences, and how you have adapted to a new culture. Send us an email to morninbarbados@cbc.vb, and together we will travel the world.
Enjoy movies, soaps, drama, comedy, inspiration, education, music, and more. You get it all when you get MCTV, because MCTV gives you more.
Some ask, what makes Barbados so special? We at Mornin Barbados say it's you, our exceptional youth. You are talented, resilient, and inspirational. You are the epitome of the Barbadian spirit, testing the boundaries of your creativity. If you are an entrepreneur, artist, baker, designer, author, or have done anything you think should...
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
6.5 minutes now after 7 o'clock this Thursday morning, the day before the start of AgroFest. AgroFest, as you know, happens in Queen's Park, and so we encourage as many of you as possible to be in Queen's Park, to be a part of it, starting tomorrow, running right through until Sunday. Loads of activities are happening there as well. One of which is the NIFCA Culinary Arts Expo. Yes, at AgroFest. And joining us to talk a little bit more about what one can expect when one engages with the NIFCA Culinary Arts Expo as part of AgroFest is the event planner for AgroFest, Karen Pestena. Karen, good morning to you.
Good morning to you and all the listeners in Barbados.
It is good to see you again. And so you are gearing up for all the hard work, really, which literally starts tomorrow, AgroFest. Talk to me a little bit about what one can expect with the NIFCA Culinary Arts Expo.
Well, we have two elements within our participation. We've been with AgroFest for years, but this is the first time that we are bringing NIFCA Culinary Arts. We have the Chefs Roundtable, where we will be doing demonstrations from two of Barbados' top chefs. That's Craig Greenidge and also Glenroy Allen. And you have to register. There are 2 sessions on Saturday and 2 sessions on Sunday. So we're looking forward to that. Persons are interested, they can go on any of our social media websites and they will see the email to register, and it's filling up quickly. So people really need to register, yes, and from all areas, because it's very interactive. It's not open to with a tent with a whole set of people. That's why it's the Chefs Roundtable, only 15 persons per session, because we go on a tour and you learn how the chefs choose products and why they choose these products. And we go back into the special demo kitchen. The participants all sit around the chef's table while he cooks and answers questions, and you get to taste the meal. And very excitingly, actually, is they will also be utilizing the products from our exhibitioners, because we have a lot of culinary entrepreneurs selling condiments, infused oils, and so. And at the NCF, we are always encouraging buy Bajan.
Yes.
So we're going to show you, if you don't know, we have our own infused oils, pesto sauces. You can buy them and use them, and they're available at various supermarkets around the island.
And they were taking a look at some of them. Watch your screens, watch your screens. If you don't watch your screens, you're going to miss it. So watch your screens, folks, very, very carefully, and see some of the different local products that will be a part of the NIFCA Culinary Arts Expo at AgroFest, and how you can take all of these species and infuse them in such a way to make delightful dishes. And that's what the Chefs Roundtable will be able to share with you. But you need to register, and register early, because there are limited spaces. Only 15 people can be accommodated in a session. And while there are sessions on Saturday and Sunday, you have to be very careful to register as soon as possible to be among that select few. And so when they sit with the chefs, they get a chance not just to watch, but to engage in questions as well, right?
Very much so. And I must also talk about the exhibitioners. There are over 14 exhibitioners, and you're getting from, and they'll be open from the Friday. The demos are the Saturday and Sunday, but the exhibitioners will be there selling from the Friday. So you have from your herbal teas and cocos to, well, we know we can't do exhibitioners without our Bajan treats, the tamarind balls, guava cheese, etc. But we have special barbecue sauces also too. And you would have seen on the screen the rum cocktails and also the cream rum. And they're having specials. Some of them are having specials just for AgroFest. And Pearson, you can't miss us, is a 20 by 80 tent, branded NCF, National Cultural Foundation, and you will see our banners. So you just have to come down, and we are there ready to welcome you into our booth.
Into your space. It's going to be quite a cultural NIFCA Culinary Arts Expo. And so, folks, when you go to AgroFest, spot it and spend some time. Not just enjoy the smells, but get a chance to understand, when you purchase these bits and pieces, how do you blend them and fuse them in such a way that you create delicious meals for yourself or your family or friends. And so this is what this Culinary Arts Expo will engage you with. So you have two top chefs in Barbados who you can question, who can show you just how you can make it happen as well. So it's going to be interactive. So prepare yourself for it. So from Friday, the exhibitioners will be there with all of these local condiments and bits and pieces, and we want you to buy because there's some specials on, so don't miss that opportunity. Then come back again on Saturday and Sunday every day to not just buy some more and see some more, but to be a part of the demonstration and the round table. And this is not, Karen, open to just those who are necessarily doing culinary arts. This is open to anyone at any stage.
Definitely, and I must make note, also we have the gluten-free products. We have someone that specializes for the vegans and vegetarians. So it really is well-rounded for everybody to participate in. So it is going to be a great time. You will spend quite a while there, and all our exhibitioners, they're going to be there to give you all the information on their products, where you can buy them. And, we never took the opportunity because we go in a supermarket and decide, we pick up.
Yes.
But you now have a chance to find out, why does he pick this sweet pepper or potato or tomato? There's a reason, whether it's smell, touch, and so. So you will find out how Chef Craig or Chef Glenroy, why they pick these products to use in their kitchen.
This is definitely for me because I'm a total novice when it comes to cooking. So perhaps this is a good opportunity for me to come down to the NCF Expo right there and be a part of it. So for folks watching, again, you don't have to be a professional. You do not have to. You can just simply be an amateur, somebody who just slash up a few things and you call that it. Come down and find out how else you can prepare some delicious meals. Come down and see what else is available manufactured in Barbados that you can add to your flavors and enjoy as well. And the wonderful thing is, as Karen has just explained, there are a range of products produced in Barbados, from the nut cake to the tamarind balls, so all of those sweet treats that we love indeed. But they're gluten-free products as well. Things that I hope for those of you who are very health conscious, they're vegetarian styled products as well. So come down to the expo, and you will see for yourself and experience for yourself. And so you're going to be there, Karen, each day from Friday right through till Sunday?
Yes, from Friday right through till Sunday. Exhibitioners are for all 3 days. The demos are Saturdays and Sundays. And I do want to say, Pearson, we're taking this opportunity to really show the aspect of farm to table in our demos also too, because we're going to the vendors, and whatever we buy from the vendors with the vegetables, seasonings and herbs, That's what we're taking into the kitchen. You know, Bajans call it ground provisions. So that's what so we are not doing demonstrations with lobster and shrimp and that. We doing it 100% Bajan style.
You're quite right. That's good because it just goes to show how we can grow what we eat and therefore eat what we grow. And all of the things that you love, we can grow here, folks, and it will all be at the expo as well, the AgroFest. And so you can see the different varieties. And I didn't even know they had different varieties of pumpkin. I just thought pumpkin was pumpkin. But there are different varieties of pumpkin. There are different varieties of potato. There are different varieties of this or that. And so how do you identify those various varieties and how do you know which variety pairs best with what? And that's what this is going to allow you to be able to do when you go to AgroFest and you go to the NCF NIFCA Culinary Arts Expo in particular, where you can now see all around you the different grasses and everything and how you can now bring them to the expo and see how you can put them into your pot and make delicious dishes for yourself and your family. This is brilliant, Karen. I can't wait to have everyone come down and be a part of it indeed. And so right through the weekend, folks, that's where we're headed. We're headed for that big tent. Look for it, right, Karen? The big tent with all of your banners and everything?
Yes. Yes, you can't miss our branded tent. Our the banners will be outside. You really can't miss us being there. We are on the big field. Just let me make sure the big sports field.
Yes.
And our tent is nearer to the Weymouth end of it.
Gotcha.
Right?
Gotcha.
But you'll not be able to miss us with our branding and so that we will have there.
Yes, yes. And because we have so many junior chefs. Go ahead.
Yes, sorry. I should mention too that we are working close, as we had said for quite a few years, but within this aspect, we have the BTMI Accelerator Program person. So these are people that have carried their business that are ready and already are selling locally and getting ready for export. And we want everybody to know about where we are with our Bajan products.
Yes.
So you have past NIFCA participants who, you know, some may have just been exhibitioners, but they have now gone into the hotel retail aspect of the culinary arts. So it's not just, you know, they have developed themselves, and those are the accelerator program. BTMI did a lot through last year and really gotten these people ready for retailing and wholesaling and for export too. So we're very proud to showcase them, and they are all looking forward to this. They're really excited of the opportunity NCF has been able to give them.
This is brilliant, brilliant, brilliant. I can't keep saying it. It is brilliant indeed, Karen. And so whether you're a junior chef, whether you're an amateur, whether you're a professional chef, register. Registration. When is registration closed, by the way, for the upcoming roundtables?
We will close off tomorrow for it. I don't want to say that we're closed because, you see, I know also too, when we get there, if there are 2 spaces open, if a member of the public comes and wants to participate, we will let them. We're not going past 15, but like Sunday is really filling up.
Yes.
Very much so. We have a couple of seating for Saturday morning and the Saturday afternoon one. But we don't want to say we're closing it off. We're going up to 15. But, you know, the opportunity, you don't pay anything. You just register and come. You know, it is free once you have your ticket, come into AgroFest. You've registered with us, and we're there to welcome you into our tent.
Well done indeed. And you can visit any of the social media sites of the National Cultural Foundation to register today as soon as possible indeed. And you know, while you were talking, some of our commenters from overseas are watching it thinking, oh my gosh, they wish that they were in Barbados to experience what you've been sharing and we've been sharing with them as well. So eat your heart out, all of you overseas. Next time you know you plan to be in Barbados at this time for AgriFest to come and enjoy. But very soon, given the accelerator program of the BTMI, you could find, perhaps very soon, fingers crossed, some of these products in a space very near to you as well, as we move to market across the globe as well. And that's all part of the efforts of the National Cultural Foundation, working in conjunction with
Correct.
the BTMI indeed. Karen Pestena, thank you so much for joining us. It sounds as if it's going to be fantastic. I feel as though there are going to be many, many people who are going to be signing up now that they know and coming down to see and witness for themselves and experience the great work of these two outstanding Barbadian chefs. And I want to commend you and your team for the work that you're doing. Let's look for the big tent, folks. We're going to AgriFest. Thank you, Karen.
Thank you so much, Pearson, and all the listeners. Looking forward to seeing you all 3 days at AgriFest.
There you go. Thank you very much indeed. Karen Pestin, who is the arranger, the event planner for this return to AgriFest of the NIFCA Culinary Arts Expo, hosted by the National Cultural Foundation. And we want you to register as quickly as possible, folks, and get in there, get in there, get in there. And perhaps you can share with us too some of the things that you've discovered and you've created. We'd love to hear from you. We're going to take a break here. We're coming back with more on Morning Barbados in just a moment.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
Some ask, what makes Barbados so special? We at Mornin Barbados say it's you, our exceptional youth. You are
Morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
I spent 9 hours convincing young Kane I was not born cutting my way through a snake. Before I spoke, the young Kane confided they knew they were supreme on the premise there are so many of them. So I said no. No, young Kane. More you don't mean nothing. And they said no. If you keep getting cut down and keep growing, you must mean something. If you keep getting cut down and keep growing, you must mean something. I have thrown Kane onto a wooden cart after seeing my brother remove the same way. So I spent 9 hours trying to convince young Kane I was not a barbarian. Bushels of water stopped my eyes. The sun split into 4 crescents. Leagues of produce stood before me, interrogating my nature. If I hang myself tonight, tomorrow I will be back in the field with hundreds of me to the left, to the right, front, back, every diagonal, above, below. When young cane reaches maturity, it grows a thick shell skin. only when you break its neck do you hear it hiss, the resurrection song.
Everything you just saw is exactly who she is. She is Safia Kimaria Kinshasa. I just love the alliteration to your name. Good morning to you.
Good morning to you, and good morning, Barbados.
Thank you so much for joining us. You are an author, you are a dancer, you are all of those things. You are more than triple threat, really. You are multiple threat indeed. Talk to me a little bit about yourself before we get into your nomination. Who are you?
So I am a British-born, Barbadian-raised choreo poet, so someone who brings choreography and poetry together. So I unite the two on the page and the stage. I am the first person in history to have created a book where we have dance notation of enslaved people, and I am a slam champion, a multi-winning slam champion, and yes, and a PhD student as well in cultural studies.
And you're young. You're so young, and yet you've done so much, and you're achieving so much. What is it about your experience thus far that has led you down this particular path?
Well, I always wanted, my grandparents instilled so much Bayesian pride in me, and my whole life's journey has been to make sure that I put Barbados at the heart of my work. So one time when I was creating a commission, a poetry commission, I was doing work with the transatlantic slave trade, and I was completely traumatized. I couldn't find any voices from my ancestors, from my people. So when I realized that there was descriptions of the dances, I discovered, okay, what I can do is I can revive them, I can bring them to life, and with my skill set, I can transform the dances into language and back and forth. So I ended up creating my own technique, my own different types of form, my own graphics for dance notation, and it took off in England. I was published by Outspoken Press, and next thing I know, I'm being shortlisted for the Rathbones Folio Prize as well, which is one of the largest prizes in England. And I think that one of the biggest achievements is having so many British audiences and European audiences reading about Barbadian history through the dances and the voices of women as well. So women throughout 500 years, we're talking a 500-year span in this one book, Cane, Corn, and Gully. So I'm so happy. I just want the world to see my people the way I do. So that brings me great joy. Yes.
That is outstanding. I will get to the book in just a minute, the Cane, Corn, and Gully. And so here it is, you almost have the clash of two cultures, the British culture, the European culture, and the Caribbean culture as well. How did you deal with that battle? Because at some point you're pulled one way or the other given where you are. How did you deal with that?
Absolutely. So I find that sometimes I feel that, okay, so I'm not Bayesian enough, I'm not English enough, and it's almost like I physically feel like I'm sometimes being stretched across the Atlantic Ocean. And I tend to use that in my work. I love the idea of being, I call it, there's a poem in the book where I call myself an across-Atlantic child. And I love the fact as well that I can inhabit various spaces and have these unique perspectives and be able to put that in my work, because I feel that it is also important to just have a unique perspective where I can explain to people, okay, well, from the outside looking in, maybe we can think about the ways in which we talk about individuality and also talk about nationhood and talk about pride and what that means. And I love the idea. So my granddaddy, he once told me that, well, do what the British did. Claim the world as yours.
Mm.
Like, why can't we
Wow.
claim the world as ours? Why can't Bajans do that? When a Britishman touches any land, it's home.
Mm-hmm.
It's home, right? So why can't a Bajan do that? You know, we should. So in the book as well, there's a poem where I changed the constellations in the sky, and I put the dances of Bajan women as the constellations.
Wow.
And so that's what I wanted to do. I said, you know, let's claim the world. Let's claim the world as ours. So that's really important to me.
That is a powerful grandfather you have there. What's his name?
So he was just a Whitaker. Yes. Yes.
I like your grandfather. Why can't you just claim it? That's what the British has done. Why can't you two claim it? And you're quite right.
Correct.
There has to be a reason why you call the book Cane, Corn and Gully. Why that title? And what do you want us to connect with immediately?
So cane, of course, was the main crop. So that refers to the sugar plantations and where many of the dances in the book took place. And corn, well, because corn is such an important staple, right? So I wanted to. There's a lot in the book about domesticity and just the provisions, just like the staples of Bajan life. So that kind of represented the sweetness. So I had to have that name in the middle. And gully, so in England, when I talk about this, I sometimes I feel like a tension in the room, but gully also represents the place where the slave masters couldn't catch the enslaved people because the terrain is so difficult. So I like the idea of using the concept of a fugitive and also the fight. One thing that is so unique about the collection is that it writes about the enslaved, but the women win. Every person in this collection wins. It is about liberation and rebellion, and even though there are very traumatic moments, the people always come out fighting and stronger. Every time they fall, they get back up. So I really did write the book that I wanted to read. I was so sick of all of these history books where you have, okay, and then they were whipped, and then this happened and this happened. But I never read after the full stop, they got back up. And of course they got back up because we are here.
Yes.
And that's what I wanted to people to take away from that. So I'm in my audiences, I'm in my performances, and I'm seeing people crying when they're listening to this, and from all ethnicities. And I'm realizing as well, so descendants of Barbados who are also in England, how much it means to them too, to have this piece of home in the collection. Yeah.
Wow. Cane, Corn and Gully is nominated for Book of the Year in the Gainon Awards. How did they know about you? How did they know about you, first of all, to nominate you?
Oh, well, I've done some work with Gainon before, so I actually started a poetry initiative in Barbados as a returning national. I believe it is my duty to always give back to Barbados as much as I can. So Gainon actually helped me with that poetry initiative, and of course they're a wonderful organization, and everything that is 100% Bajan I'm always going to support. And when I was nominated, I actually cried. I cried as much as I did with any other prize, because it almost felt like a homecoming in a way, and I think when you have that any sort of recognition from the country that you were speaking to, so I would mostly call Barbados the motherland, and it's the only place that I've actually called home. So it meant a lot to me, for sure.
Wow. This means a lot to us to have you this morning indeed. Your story is so profound. Your ability to be able to understand the nuances of our culture in the way that you have as a British born to begin with is really fascinating. And then your ability now to be able to translate that to an audience that responds in the way that we see from the pictures we just shared, is brilliant. The book is called Cane, Corn and Gully. And is this book available locally?
So it is available internationally. It's published by Outspoken Press, and through my website, safiakamari.com. I have made sure there is free shipping to Barbados. So of course, I'm always thinking about Barbados, always. So yes, so it can be purchased internationally, and I hope it will be available in a store near you at some point. Yes.
We hope so too. I understand you're on a book tour at the moment?
Yes, so I am currently in New York promoting my book, and I'm also currently speaking at various conferences to talk about just the wonders of being able to unite dance and poetry together. And so when you do look in the book, you'll see all of these notations, and they're complicated, and people, constantly tell me, well, Safia, but these dances are so complicated. And I'm like, yes, we're not just the simple people. We have complicated movements, and they're so beautiful. And I think that what I want people to get from this is just know that there are constant steps, and it's just to represent that Barbadians are constantly moving forward. There is always movement. There is no resting places in this collection, just to signify that, Barbadians, what I love most about Barbadian culture is that no matter how hard things get, people get up the next day. And that is what is at the heart of this book.
Oh my gosh, you brought it right back to where I wanted to say, she gets back up. And so you've got up and you're all over the world now, and I hope that folks watching got to see those locations where you will be, the cities in which you will be. And for those of our viewers overseas, in New York, in Trinidad, everywhere, when she comes to your space, find her and attend that book tour, and have a chance to interact indeed directly with the author of the book, Cane, Corn and Gully. And you learn a whole lot more. Her experience is so profound indeed. Her name is Safia Kimaria Kinshasa. I love it indeed. What a powerful name. Thank you so much for joining us this morning. Congratulations on your nomination. We will get to hear who won in the Book of the Year category very soon in the upcoming Gainon Awards. But we wish you the very best on your tour and all of your future endeavors. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you so much for having me.
You're very welcome indeed. Thank you. Whoa, profound, huh? I know, I agree with you. Morning Barbados comes back in just a moment.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
Some ask, what makes Barbados so special? We at Mornin Barbados say it's you, our exceptional youth. You are talented, resilient, and inspirational. You are the epitome of the Barbadian spirit, testing the boundaries of your creativity. If you are an entrepreneur, artist, baker, designer, author, or have done anything you think should be highlighted, email us at morninbarbados@cbc.bb. Let us show the world.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
22 minutes now to go to the hour of 8 o'clock. And in less than a year, I meet this young man again. Akeem Rudder is his name. He is the winner of the Banyan Award in the National Youth Awards. Akeem, good morning.
Good morning, Pearson. How are you?
I'm great. How are you doing?
I'm good, man. I'm good.
Who would have thought our paths would cross yet again so soon? So soon indeed. But, congratulations on your award.
Thank you very much. I'm very honored to be able to receive this award, honestly.
Yeah. When you think of the banyan tree was a meeting place for a lot of people. It's large, has these large overhanging branches, and many people benefited underneath that banyan tree indeed. And so that's what you've been able to do as you yourself, operating a system that allows people of different abilities to benefit. Talk to me a little bit about what you do.
Yeah, so as you rightly said, banyan tree definitely represents the work that I'm doing. I am an adaptive trainer, and I work with persons with various disabilities, empowering them through movement and physical activity. And I've been working with persons mainly with autism, visual impairments, persons who also have Down syndrome, and wheelchair users as well. And the work that I've been doing, I'm seeing how persons are developing a lot more. A lot of the conversations now with my athletes and clients are, what else can we do? What more can we do? So they came from a place of not being able to do much or not having the opportunities to do a lot, and now the conversation is, hey, what else can we do? So I think um, is really good for me to see. Is really good for the society. The work that I'm doing also, persons that are more aware. I have a lot of persons who ask me questions on how do they interact with a person with a disability, for example. So I'm always happy to educate and give tips to, again, bring awareness to the space.
You could have turned away, because I mean you have the skill set, away to a different sector of society, but you chose instead, no, let me work with people with what we call challenges, but who are just simply different. And so understanding who they are and understanding their capacity and being able to expand that capacity, that calls for a lot of heart. A lot of heart. Where did you find that heart within you to be able to reach out in the way that you do?
I think it's definitely the way how I was brought up. Growing up in my community, I was always one of the persons who had to look after my sister and my little cousins, for example. So I always had to assume a leadership position. And I found also that because of my sport and the way I travel playing the sport, I also learned how to be able to work with a lot of different people, especially from different countries. So I think all of that really helped me to be more understanding. And I love to see persons develop skill wise. So being able to be patient enough to see a skill develop is one of the things that I really enjoy doing. So yeah, it takes a lot of heart and it takes a lot of patience and empathy. And those are the virtues that I've been brought up with.
You are one outstanding young man indeed. And so talk to me about a little, because we're seeing while you were talking as well some images and videos of the work you do. What is it that you do? Could you break it down for us so that people get a real hands-on approach as to what it is that you do?
Okay, so the work it really starts with an assessment first. If someone wants to work with me, for example, I have a lot of forms that they fill out to give me as much information as possible on the individual before I meet them. So by the time I meet them, I have a working memory of who they are, what they like, what they don't like, and then I'm able to reach them at a level that they're accustomed to, right? Because if I go to meet them and I don't know about them, I could miss them. I could miss a point of connecting with them. So from the time that connection is made, I then do a physical assessment and I walk them through some exercises and activities, and then I can see where I can go with a program. I can see where they may need some help physically and also developmentally. And after that, I create a program that helps them to build on their functional movement first. And through this movement, I work on confidence, I work on self-control, I work on cognitive capacity. There are a lot of different things that I work on through movement. And once I achieve this base level of confidence and movement, then I can move this individual into various sports or sporting activities. And this is what I really do across disabilities. So it looks different for everyone. So if you see me working with, that was Russell in the image just now, Russell's workouts and activities look completely different to Jaden, who was in the images earlier. So it's to have the mindset that each person is different and unique, and therefore we need to create activities that are specifically tailored for their development.
You know, a lot of what you do is not just physiotherapy, they're emotional therapy as well, because you empower those people with different abilities to know that they are equally valuable and not to see themselves as less than anything. And so that is a place from which you come, and I really commend you on that. Now, you were nominated in the National Youth Awards in a number of categories, but you won Banyan one. Talk to me a little bit about knowing that that someone or someone's thought what you did or do good enough to be able to be nominated in many categories. What did that feel like to you to know?
Yeah, I mean, when I first found out about the awards, I was told by one of my clients, her name is Maureen, and Maureen was like, Akeem, I have to I have to nominate you for this award. I feel like you deserve it. She's one of the clients that she listens to me a lot, and she knows my struggles. She knows the things I go through. So she was one to really say, you know, I have to nominate you. But then to see all the other nominations in all the different categories, that was very overwhelming for me in a good way, because I felt like, yes, people are recognizing my work. People are seeing the good that I'm doing. So even though I did not win in those categories, to be nominated by different persons for these categories, that was really heartwarming for me.
You know, the first time I met this young man, it was an online session he was doing about educating people about Down syndrome and so forth, and very interesting. And then as it happened, life unfolded, and we've got the chance to meet face to face in St. John. It was last year. As we were leading up, and we took our show on the road, and now here he is indeed. And so there it was. You were in the Frank Cullimore Hall. I love to ask this question. You were in the Frank Cullimore Hall. The categories were going one by one. Didn't win that one. Didn't win that one. This one comes out of Banyan Award. And how did you feel? Did you feel as if, you know what? I probably won't win this one either. Did you feel that way?
I think because this award came so late in the program, at a point in time, I was like, oh, well, maybe this is not my time. Maybe I'll go again next year. But when they called my name, it was a sigh of relief. I was like, yes, okay, good, I got this one. And I really love the fact that I won in this category, because I love how it brought awareness to the space. It brought awareness that persons with disabilities can be healthy, they can have wellness activities, they can participate in sport. So I'm very happy that I won this specific award, because it brings the spotlight on exactly what I do and want to do for the space.
I am so immensely proud of what you do, Akeem. I truly am, because you are exceptional in what you do. You know, you don't find a lot of people your age so young and youthful and ready to help people of disabilities. And so what you do is truly, truly outstanding. That's why I was glad to be a part of your online session. I'm glad to be able to track you all the way through, because you're different, and your difference shines brightly. And so to be recipient of the Banyan Award means a lot to all of us who watch what you do as well. And we really sincerely want to thank you for stepping outside of your own space and letting your heart lead the way. I just love that part. You know, I'll tell you why in a minute. There's a song called Alfie, right? Have you ever heard the song Alfie? It was a classic written by Burt Bacharach and David blah blah blah, and it's sung by my girl Dionne Warwick. But part of that line says, "Let your heart lead the way," and that's exactly what you do. You've allowed your heart to lead the way, and to lead by example, show all of us that we have to be a lot more inclusive. A whole lot more inclusive in our, not look at people who are different from us and think that they are wrong. There's something wrong with them. There's absolutely nothing wrong with them. We just have to be able to accentuate those positives indeed, and you're doing so very well. Akeem, thank you so much for joining us. Congratulations on your award, and congratulations already in all of your future endeavors. Something tells me there's another plan ticking in your head, and it will happen because you're that man. All right, buddy, take care. You're very welcome indeed. You're welcome. He's one man who lets his heart lead the way. Akeem Rudder, the recipient of the Banyan Award in the recently concluded National Youth Awards. We're going to take a break here on Morning Barbados. We're coming back in just a moment.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
Some ask, what makes Barbados so special? We at Mornin Barbados say it's you, our exceptional youth. You are talented, resilient, and inspirational. You are the epitome of the Barbadian spirit, testing the boundaries of your creativity. If you are an entrepreneur, artist, baker, designer, author, or have done anything you think should be highlighted, email us at morninbarbados@cbc.bb. Let us show the world our exceptional Bajan youth.
Books open your heart, your mind, and your soul. They are educational, entertaining, inspiring, and motivating. Are you an author of a recent book you want to share? Then Mornin Barbados would love to feature your book in our The Next Chapter segment. Send us an email to morninbarbados@cbc.bb. That's morning without the G. Come and let us turn those pages together.
Because you love English Premier League, MCTV has got it back. Now you can watch all the games of the English Premier League plus UEFA and NFL on MCTV.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
10 minutes now to go to the hour of 8 o'clock. I love it when my production crew listens well. They heard me talking just now about Alfie, that song Alfie. I don't know if you know it. Do you guys know it? Maybe they get to hear it now. So I want you to listen to this, and it's one of those songs I play early in the morning before we go live. Every single morning I sing along to it. Listen.
Is it just
Yes.
for the moment we live? What's it all about when you sort it out, Alfie? Are we meant to take more than we give? Or are we meant to be kind? And if only fools are kind, it is wise to be cruel. And if life belongs only to the strong, Alfie, what will you learn on an old golden rule? As sure as I believe.
There's a heaven above, Alfie, indeed. But when you walk, let your heart lead the way. That's the line that comes nearer to the end of the song. Indeed, the late Burt Bacharach actually did that song with Dionne Warwick. All right, time for us to unscramble some letters, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for indulging me for just a moment. So, are you ready for this? 228-5562 or 228-5563. Those are the numbers for you to call to tell me the word you see on your screen. Look at it. That's a word. We're going to start easy and we're going to build up from here now. This is so easy. This should take you seconds to fix out. And give me a call. 228-5562 or 228-5563. What word is this? When you unscramble the letters on your screen right now. 228-5562 or 228-5563. The numbers to call me to let me know the word. Simple word, just 5 letters. Simple word. Even Gregory will get it right. 228-5562 or 228-5563. Good morning. Hello.
Good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you. And you?
Oh, you're very welcome. I'm well. Thank you for asking. So do you think you know the word?
Yes, please.
What word is it?
P-E.
What word is it?
P-E.
Say it again.
Peace.
Peace. Yeah.
Yes.
But you know there's another spelling for the word peace.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Do you know? Hello?
Hello?
Are you hearing? Right. I'm asking you if you are aware there's another way to spell the word peace.
Peace?
Yeah.
P-I-E-C-E?
Correct. Just checking to make sure you got it. Thank you very much, okay?
Yes, please.
Have a good morning indeed. She's absolutely right. The word was peace. We have another one on your screen, ladies and gentlemen. This one, boy, it has the letter V. What will you do with that letter V? What will you do? It's one of those letters that we don't often see. So, now that the letter V is on your screen in this word, what word is it? 228-5562 or 228-5563. Is the V at the end? Is the V at the beginning? Is the V in the middle? What do you do with this one? Come, figure this word out now. 228-5562 or 228-5563. I know that letter is going to trip you up. Glad. 228-5562 or 228-5563. What word is this that you see on your screen now when you unscramble the letters? You can do this. I have absolutely every faith that you can. Good morning. Hello. Hello?
Hello.
Hi, good morning to you. How are you doing?
Advocate.
Don't listen to the TV. Don't listen. Just listen to me and you talk to me. So, how are you doing?
Hello, I was just here to unscramble the words.
I'm sorry? I didn't hear you very clearly at all. What? Oh, sorry about that. Sorry about that. So 228-5562 or 228-5563. Folks, when you call, don't get caught up in listening to the TV. Listen to the telephone. Listen to the telephone. Good morning. Hello. Hello.
Hi, good morning.
Hello, my friend. How are you today?
I'm well, thanks. And you?
I'm very well today as well. Thank you for asking. Do you think you know the word?
Yes, please.
What word is it?
Advocate.
Don't ask me questions. What word is it? You're
Advocate.
positive?
Yes, please.
So where do you put the V, the letter V?
After the AD.
After the AD. You're right. What parish are you watching from?
St. Michael.
St. Michael. Thank you very much, all right?
Okay.
Take care, bye-bye. All right, after the AD. Here we go. And no words on your screen, ladies and gentlemen. What word is this, though? What word is it? Come on, take a look. Quick. 228-5562 or 228-5563. This one is a lot easier, I believe. 228-5562 or 228-5563. What word is this on your screen at the moment? Good morning. Hello.
Hi, good morning, Pearson. How are you?
I am well. How are you?
I'm fine.
You chirpy girl. I like that. You've had breakfast already?
But you know what this word is now? I didn't know the other one. This
So you
one
can-
is lecture.
This one is lecture.
Yes,
L-E-C. We've used one E so far. T-U-R. Where's the other E?
Oh.
Oh.
I was like, culture. Culture. I get it.
What word?
Culture.
Who just told you that?
No, I know. Look, Tati, I'm watching TV. I'm here at Flow, so I just got it right.
Yes, I tell you, don't go with the slow. But you're absolutely right. Thank you so much, all right? Have a good morning. She's right. Culture it is indeed. Culture is absolutely right. All right, we'll take a break. When we come back, I'll fill you in on some other things. Thank you so much for participating. Coming back in just a minute.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
Because you love English Premier League, MCTV has got it back. Now you can watch all the games of the English Premier League plus UEFA and NFL on MCTV. Current customers can upgrade to Max Pack Extra at just $23. Call MCTV today at 228-6288 to upgrade or come in and sign up for our new service. Football fans, let MCTV get you back in the game.
While you go about your business, we go about our business, and that is gathering the news. Stay up to date at CBC News Barbados on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Get news update on radio throughout the day. And join us for the CBC News Night at 7 every night. CBC News team is on the job and bringing you the news.
There is a saying, you can find a Bajan anywhere. Are you a Bajan living abroad? Or do you know of one who has migrated to another country? Well, we at Mornin Barbados would love to have you or them on our Bajan Afar segment. Share your amazing stories, experiences, and how you have adapted to a new culture.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
So it's Thursday. Let's walk you through our calendar of events for the next couple of days. Today, Thursday, Q in the Community is on, Q Day. And where are we headed? We're headed to First Lady Enterprise. That's right there in St. Michael. We want you to be there. Waterford, St. Michael, as a matter of fact, from 11. Wear your African wear. African wear today. African wear today. For Q in the Community at First Lady Enterprise at Waterford, St. Michael. So be there or be square, as they used to say. So thank you so much for that. Also, we want to remind you that the CLR James Lecture and Symposium happens tomorrow, Friday the 24th. Also tomorrow, the Canada Barbados Symposium is on, and we want you to early register for these events. They're all happening on campus. The second parish hike is on the 25th. That's on Saturday. Saturday, the parish hike in Parish of St. Lucie from Coles Cave. Be there from before 3, but it's about 3 because at 3:30 it's going to start. We're going to start the walk. You get to know a whole lot more about the area, the historic heights. And then on Sunday, we're headed to the Interfaith Thanksgiving service on the 26th of February on the grounds of the Cayfield campus indeed. So all of those things, all part of the Cayfield campus 60th anniversary celebrations. That's it for today. Thank you so much for being with us. My producer has been Nadia Foster. Technical director, Ruel Ford. Sound has been Christopher Blenman. And at Master Control, Tamisha Green. I'm Pearson Boyne for the crew. To all of you, we say we're looking forward to seeing you tomorrow. Come back then. See you then. Bye-bye.
Wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up. Barbados, get up. Good morning.